welcome, guys, to the Hair Wire, the place where you get hair smart, guys. And thank you for tuning in. We just want to say welcome. And of course, please subscribe to our channel, like our content, and of course, hit the notification bell so you can get notified of every other video that we post constantly. I don't know, Kerry, we're posting almost on daily basis, right?
Right
Yeah,
now, we are
We're
catching up
putting content
and
just about every day.
yeah. We have short videos, we have long videos, we have a lot of scientific content in there. So, yeah, subscribe,
We're,
people.
we're trying to make it happen, and post it. We started small, but we're getting the hang of this.
Yeah,
yeah, we're figuring it
We're
out. We
getting
just had to get our system set up.
right. And it's a lot
uh,
of work on
oh,
Carrie.
hey, guys, if you're watching and you have been trying to build a channel, build a community, it's not as easy, but hey, we're here for you guys, and we know all about the burdens of losing hair, and of course, we're here to help you. Today, guys, you have a treat. You have not one, not two, not three, but four psychologists here today with you, and straight out from Cameroon, but living from in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Josie, how you doing, Josie?
I'm doing fantastic. How you guys doing?
Doing great, doing great. Thank you for being here with us today. Uh,
My
Today,
pleasure.
we're gonna be expanding on our last show. We were talking about hair extension, and Carrie went through it amazingly. Now Now we have Josie here, and we're going to be talking about the intricacies and, of course, the differences whenever we are dealing with coiled hair, or as many like to say, black hair. I mean, I never whatever how you call it. And this is a multinational show. This is a very world type of show. We have people from everywhere around the world here. So hey, it's how we like to call it here. So we're going to be saying coiled hair, so to make people comfortable and make it good for you. And of course, we're here for you, and we want you to learn about the latest techniques and how we can improve the quality of life and of course the quality of your hair. Carrie, how you like to start us today on this subject?
Sure. Yeah, I'm very excited. Josie was the first person in mind when I wanted to talk about this topic. Josie actually and I are alumni of the same program. We went to class together. So I'm very excited because she is one of my peers from my class when we studied trichology. And she was a wealth of information as well when it came to braiding and just understanding coiled hair. I learned a few things when we were in class together. So I thought, how fitting is somebody who taught me I could bring to the world to share with you guys. Now, hair extensions, you guys all know I am an expert in hair extensions as a cosmetologist and a trichologist, but I mostly do hair extensions on fine to medium hair. Now, when it comes to doing hair extensions on coiled hair, which yes, I am trained in coiled hair. I actually apprenticed under somebody for a few months on box braiding, and extensions, but that's not my expertise. So I thought fitting to bring in Josie to talk about the topic and really educate people, because right now I'm finding that there's a lot of people doing hair extensions, but they're treating coiled hair and fine to medium hair with the same applications, causing traction alopecia, breakage, you name it. And so we're just going to talk about, what's the difference and what to do. Josie, I know you were pretty excited when I talked to you about this as well, and really just informing people on the different needs on our different hair types, and just from not just from a trichologist perspective, but for the public's general education to understand on who to talk to and when to say no to somebody for a hair extension application, to know if it's going to be correct for their hair type, or if the person that's doing them is trained in the hair type that they want to get the extensions done. And it doesn't matter who's doing it, it's just a matter of how you are trained to do it on the different hair types. Josie, what do you think do you want to comment on that with me?
Yes. Okay. To start, first, I would like to um, remind our viewers that is not familiar with black hair, that black hair or African American hair can go from merely straight to tightly coils. Yes, so we literally have we should have all representations here. I want to make sure that nobody feels left out. When it comes to extensions, I'm a little bit cautious about extensions. Extensions came into the picture only recently. For the longest time, people were using their own hair to achieve different and diverse hairstyles. And that means that had different connotations. It could from social economic status to cultural and even stage of life. So different type of braid could mean different things. So extensions came out in the picture only recently. As Kerry mentioned earlier, I do agree with you when it comes to using extensions. It's not about using the extensions, but how to use it. What type of care? How, when to use it, when not to use it.
Absolutely. I love that you said that, when not to use it. I find too, yes, hair extensions, people often use them. Like, there's so many ways you could use them. You could use them for adding volume, color, changing the texture, changing the length. But also too, a lot of people do it for the wrong reasons. I see a lot of people with very extreme, thin, broken, brittle, ultra fine hair, or chemical damage to the scalp, or derm on their scalp, and they're not taking care of it, and they put too much extensions in, or they put an application that's going to increase infection and cause more damage, more hair loss, more permanent hair loss, which a lot of people don't realize. You may lose a little bit of hair, but it can also be permanent if it's not done correctly. And there is a time and a place with extensions. I have one client, I actually had to step her back and coach her on, because she was trying to do 3 times the amount of hair on her hair and what her hair could handle. And like, are you doing it for the length or the volume? But maybe if you're doing it, maybe it's, we got to adjust and look at a different application type if you're looking for volume. So, and a lot of times with hair extensions, a lot of people think there's only one application. There's not. I have 8+ different application methods I use for extensions based on the client's needs. And when I do a hair extension client, I do a full consultation with them, 20 minutes to a half an hour. I'm asking questions. What's your lifestyle like? What, are you a sweaty person? Are you an oily person? Are you a go-getter? Are you constantly wearing hats or helmets on your head? Like, I'm asking those questions. And I'm sure, Josie, you're nodding your head because you agree with me, because we're not all, you got to make sure you have the correct fit on what extension type you're going to do. And a good extensionist will ask you those questions to make sure you get what you need to protect the integrity of your hair and your hair growth. Josie, you want to comment on that with me?
Yes, there were a time, there are times where I have to definitely turn down a client as a trichologist. It's my mission to make sure that I keep your hair as healthy as it should be. So my suggestion and advice to anybody that deal with hair extensions, from braiding to weaving, is to make sure that the client's hair is strong enough to support the amount of extensions that you want to use. You want to make sure about the health of the scalp. Does the person have any type of inflammation? Should we take care of it before we achieve that a hairstyle? We have to make sure I pay attention to the hair density, to the hair thickness. We sometimes have to change hairstyle just because that one doesn't fit the state of your hair at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like, I have quite a few. Like, I actually have one client I'm actually coaching with her right now and growing her hair back. She went and got extensions because she loves the box braids, and she's Caucasian, with bleach blonde hair, which had damage to it. She went and got box braids, and she went to somebody who had years of experience. Yes, there are people with years of experience who say, I'm an expert in this area, but they might be only an expert in one area. And she got hair extensions applied as though her hair was coily. So it was too tight, too much tension. And she put them in on the extension on her hair type, because you can't put hair extension hair or do box braids on my hair type wet. She applied the extension, the box braid wet. And so when this poor client took out her hair, it was broken and brittle and literally falling apart. Like literally clumps. She had to get a pixie cut after all of that, because she went to this expert who had been doing box braids for a long time, but she also didn't understand hair integrity. She didn't understand her hair type and compromised her hair. And now she has a pixie cut, and her hair was just past her shoulders.
I cannot imagine the emotional burden that a person will go through, particularly after having that experience. And you have to consider what makes a person decide that a hair extensions are good for them, or that they want to get hair extensions in the first place. I mean, we have to consider what is the psychology behind it. I mean, why would people want to get more hair, and why would they feel that this hair extension will make them feel beautiful, sexier, more attractive? What's the psychology behind it? Now, Bisan, you're here very quiet today, so I want to bring you in here. I want to bring you in into the psychological aspects of why people look out for this type of services, what's happening through people's head, and why are people so desperate to get this type of results, because they are after results. They don't care what it is, but they want a result. Can you comment a bit about that, Biz?
Yeah, unfortunately, we live now in an era of Instagram and TikTok maybe now. So people, like especially the young generation, like ladies in their 20s or even ladies on their 30s, some people will get the false image of what all the social media is presenting. Even the TV celebrities, like all big celebrities, they do use extensions. I can tell. I don't know anything about extensions per se, but I can tell that could not be this weight cannot be a natural weight of hair. So it's just by just looking at them. So basically, like the pressure of the media will put on all of us a certain way to look, and a certain way of our hair should look like. And we all know that hair is actually a presentation of your health. The hair is a presentation. It's one of the most attractive things the other sex will look for. We know that psychologically speaking, if a lady has so much luxurious hair, it will attract more males than a lady with less luxurious hair. So this is our instincts inside, and that's why we go blindly and we seek all these treatments, and we seek all these fades. Sometimes it's a fade, putting as many extensions as we can, and now it is actually the responsibility of the cosmetologist and trichologist who's applying it, because not the whole population do not understand trichology. The whole population they're after good looks, and they're coming to you to trusting that you know what you're doing. Like when I go to a makeup artist, I have no idea what makeup is. I am just putting my face in her hands, making me look good, right? But the thing that unfortunately the industry needs to have a community. The industry have to like a kind of a board, or like some, I don't know, union or something that put the trichologist and cosmetologist, held them accountable for educating the person before getting their money. For example, Katie coming to me and she wants extension. It's my obligation to explain to Carrie what kind of extension should be okay with her. It's my obligation to explain to her what her hair type is, how much her hair can handle. She doesn't know. She's a client. She's trusting me. And this is, and plus all this pressure coming, like the pressure of the media, the ladies wants to look absolutely perfect. They come to a lady's like, put as many extensions as they want. The lady's like, yeah, I'll get the money. That's fine with me.
I'm
Social pressure
actually
nowadays
doing men too, by the way.
humongous.
I have a lot of men who I do extensions on as well.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Really?
any.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying any male or female, but you got my point. Right?
That's a new one
Yeah.
for me. Guys getting extensions? Really?
Oh yeah,
More
especially
and
with
more.
their more and more. And
Okay,
especially with
Josie,
their
now
trend-
let me know about that, because really, it's a thing about guys also getting extensions. I mean, for me, that's news today. I have never
Yeah.
seen a guy with extensions coming to my clinic yet.
Yeah,
Please talk to me
especially with-
about this.
especially with the transgender community growing exponentially. There's a lot. We also have men using it for filler, especially on the top of the head. I use it for a lot of treatments, which I talked to you about new techniques that we're doing to just help with filling with patches. Also too, the mullet is huge right now. Huge. So I've done a few tracks for people, for men, to get the mullet, which I like to call it to make it sound sexier, the mullet.
It sounds French. It sounds French.
It sounds very French. Yeah.
The
Josie, you've seen it. You're nodding. You're like, yeah, it's grown quite a bit. You see a lot of men too.
Yeah, I'm seeing more, and actually the market is exploding.
Really?
It's scary, but it is what it is. I mean, not
Wow.
scary in the sense where, men should not do what makes them feel good, but
Exactly.
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the market is actually blooming when it comes
Yeah.
to hair, men extensions, like toppings, like even lace toppings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even the braiding, the cornrows and box braiding, I get men too. I have a couple of clients, they're Hispanic, and I braid in just a little extra length to give in the back, just to tie it back. They like it with the bandana to have a couple braids sticking out. And so like I've done that for a couple of my male friends, and it's fun. And even like in the Viking community too, they like to have the hole on top and do dreadlock extensions in the back to get that whole Viking type appearance as well. That's a hot.
Yeah, that Broad Lexner type of yeah.
Yeah, because it's
Type of
hard.
hairstyle.
Nobody likes to keep their extensions anymore, and yes, they're uncomfortable. I've worn them dreadlocks myself, and I prefer them as extensions because I could take them out. But a lot of men, like especially when we go to like Viking fairs and stuff, they'll put them in too. So yeah.
I have a question. I know I'm maybe the devil advocate here, but is there like a kind of like when you go to a doctor and then they give you something prescription that makes you sick, then you can report them to the board. Is there some kind of thing that happens to cosmetologists and trichologists like that? Or should we start one?
Yeah, that has been a thorn in my side. And Josie, I'm sure you could concur because you're nodding. Licensing in Canada, and I know in parts of the States, it's regulated by the province and by the state. So to regulate it and control it, every province and state it's different, and it might be controlled by the trade association. It might be regulated by the government. Like it's different everywhere. And where I live, hair extensions are not regulated. My husband could offer hair extensions, and I can't report him because there's no regulatory rules for that. He could do it. And then also too, here with licensing, like there's a lot of confusion, and I have a business background, so and this is one of my pet peeves is we do get licensed here in Alberta where I live. I have a license. I also have a red seal. I'm a foreman level stylist, which I could practice anywhere in Canada. However, you'll find people. My neighbor could open up a salon tomorrow and say she has a licensed salon. but is it a business license or is it a cosmetology license or a barber license? So there's a lack of misinformation. There is a huge point of misinformation out there. So people be like, and I actually had another client, he has secretion alopecia from going to a licensed barber, which was not a trained barber. He was just a licensed business doing barbering, and he got an infection because the barber, quote unquote, not licensed barber, was not cleaning their blades. This barber did get shut down. We were able to shut him down because he got so many fines. However, he did open up again. So, and I know that that is an issue in many states and many provinces. Josie, yes, you've seen this, I'm sure, as well. But then there are also two places where you could go. Like, one thing though, when it comes to braiding and hair extensions, though, this is where I can be devil's advocate here. Yes, with extensions should be regulated. However, when it comes to braiding, myself, I prefer to go to somebody who's been doing it for a long time, especially with, say, like the type of braids that I would get from my heritage. I would go, because with the Polish Viking, we do get the braids from time to time. I would prefer my aunt to do it, who is not licensed, but she's been doing it for years. That's, you know, she understands how to braid my hair and what look I'm going for. So, but she's not charging me. I don't think she should be charging, making money for it. But personally, I do prefer.
It's a comfortable thing, yeah.
Yeah, Josie, maybe you could say something on that too.
There's definitely a similarity between Canada and the US, and there's a blur line when it comes to regulation here. You can only do so much, but you know, at times some people can, you know, have the ability to report you to the cosmetology board, but yeah, there's not much that can be done.
And also that applies to trichologists too, like in a way that any person can read a 2-day course and say, I'm a licensed trichologist, which is, there's nothing that called licensed trichologist. But yeah, I think, Sergio, we should start one.
We're starting too many things.
I know, we didn't do anything. But like,
it's true. It's true. I mean, the thing is, you know, as professions, as we have been stating, different professions are being regulated differently on different areas of the state, and of course on different parts of the world. And that creates a problem, because since everywhere else in the world has different regulations, everybody do things differently, and everybody's looking for, you know, those gray areas to do things irregularly, under the table, if you would. Yeah, unfortunately, that's one of the big issues. Now, going back to
what? Yeah, you know what we can do though, Sergio and Passan and Josie, as certified trichologists, we can educate our listeners on what to look for. And that is the key with the hair wire, is educating people on what to look for so that they could prepare themselves to get the right people for what they're looking for.
Exactly. So, I'm into that.
Yeah.
I have a question for Joe. Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry, before I ask my question.
Okay. No, I wanted to add this. Don't get me wrong, there are so many talented hairstylists out here, hair braider, gifted. As much there's no regulation when it comes to, let's say, especially hair braiding, for the fact that you can't, hair braiding is considered as an art.
An art. I agree.
Yes. But don't get me wrong, there are still some states here that, you know, I mean, the regulation is not coerced. So some states actually still require licenses, and others are just like, you know what, we don't need, the people don't need that.
Okay. I have a question for you, Josie. This is for for me, actually, personally, and for the public. Can you explain to us what kind of extensions a coiled hair or a black hair is like, what kind of extensions you can use, and how many techniques, like briefly, and what are the side effects, and for what is the clients that it's okay for their hair condition to be applied.
Thank you very much for
So
your question.
educate us.
Yes. As I mentioned earlier, there are two aspects that I take very much on consideration. I take I pay attention to the hair density and to the hair thickness. So it doesn't matter if your hair is wavy or literally tight peppercorn. If it can handle a certain type of extensions or a certain amount of extensions, I'll rather tell you no for the moment. So
do you have a
it's
test
not
to test it before you say like it can or it can't handle it?
Yeah, just by me by examination, I can examine like the hair or the scalp. I can definitely pay attention to the half of the scalp. If I notice that the hair the person hair half is not on point, I'll definitely suggest you to do something that is a little bit less harmful at the moment.
And I'm assuming that you do a trichological consultation first to make sure that they're not shedding, like going through postpartum hair loss, going through
Yes.
a collagen effluvium episode.
Yes.
So can you explain a little bit about the people who are going through shedding? How do you explain to them that you cannot have hair extensions now, and why?
Yes. By looking at the state of the hair and the scalp, that usually bring me to ask, the client questions. You can definitely notice that something is not right. So
yeah, when you pull the hair, you can actually know.
Yes.
It. Yeah.
Okay. I can suggest a different hairstyle as for example, we have a hairstyle that is called Afro twist. It's very light. It literally mimic, let's say, the coil type of hair is extremely light. I will definitely mention that to the client as an option.
What is this?
Her hair, Afro twist.
Afro twist.
So yes, it's thinner. It's like thinner.
It definitely mimics like our hair texture. Let's say more like a coily type of hair texture. It's very light. It's definitely, I consider that very safe for somebody that has an issue already with hair shedding while addressing the problem at the same time.
That's why I feel like trichology is important here, like to study trichology, so you can walk them through the steps first, stabilize their hair first before doing not even braids or anything.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely. Sometimes I just suggest you to not get your hair done until the issue is addressed.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
And one thing, Josie, once the client, you have gone through the proper evaluation process and you think that, they're a good candidate for extensions, what type of hair care advice should be in place for people, what should they do? How should they do it? How should they take care of those extensions?
That's a fantastic question, Sergio. Usually when they get extensions, my very first advice is to come back at least every 2 weeks to get their scalp cleans and then replenish the oil on their scalp. But I'm very specific about the type of oil. It's not a butter. It's not just any type of oil. I make sure that it's a very light oil, a oil that can help keeping the sebum diluted, because the sebum tend to, especially on our type of hair, the sebum tend to, how can I say that? The sebum tend to
be thick.
Yeah, to clump on our scalp. So we definitely have to
start accumulating.
Accumulating. Yes, thank you. Yes.
And also, like, if you put like a thick or like coagulant oil or butter, then the follicle don't breathe anymore.
Exactly.
And don't excrete the sebum anymore, and that actually will cause either infection or at the long run, it will kill the follicle.
Absolutely. So just a tip to the viewers, like the type of oil that I would definitely suggest are oils like grapeseed oil. Grapeseed oil, good quality olive oil as well. Is definitely, I'll say 2 times a week are perfectly fine. In between, keep also your scalp hydrated.
How hydrated? How?
Hydrated with a spray that contains element like aloe vera. I would say aloe vera is is enough just to keep it simple. So by keeping that maintenance every 2 weeks, you will avoid those build up and you will keep your scalp healthy. A lot of people also like to wash their hair, but going that route, you might end up with knotted hair when you take it out. That's the little risk. Like your hair will form knots. Would tangle when it comes the time to take it out. That's why I like to focus on the scalp, because that's where the hair is coming from.
Exactly.
So it's interesting, like, because with extensions, say on fine to medium hair, I recommend to wash every 2nd to 3rd day, but we also we're not combating with the curl lot. So that makes a lot of sense. And so with hair extensions, especially on my hair type, we do want to wash every day, because the oil, what happens if we have too much oil buildup, it actually makes the extensions lubricated and slip out.
And I'm assuming in hot weather, or if a lady works out or a guy works out, you have to change the schedule a little bit, right?
Yeah,
personalize it.
With like extensions that I do, I recommend that they shampoo every 2nd to 3rd day, because it's important. You're going to make your extensions last longer, especially because you're keeping them clean. You're not stunting any hair growth. They're not getting slipped out. Because what happens with the extensions on slipperier hair, the extensions are going to fall out faster. They're going to cause more breakage because you'll have more points to comb. We also, with hair like mine, it does tangle very easily, and because the hair is more fragile, you do want to make sure you get those knots out, because to get the knots out and the cuticle damage that would cause with the extensions, it's going to cause more damage and more breakage. But I know with the coily hair, because the curl, you have the different texture, the curl's tighter, and so you have differences in what, so I could see with the whole knot, if you washed it every day, of course it's going to get matted and tangled a lot quicker because of the curl. So
and my question to Josie, like, if show us that.
Yeah, I wanted to show something here. It's it's from one of the classes that I took recently. And I'm sorry, but basically you have here like an abacus type of thing, right? So you see the orange bead, right?
Yeah.
That's the sebum. And basically one of the things that has been explained to us is that, how sebum travels from root to tip. And it happens that with curly hair or black hair or coiled hair, the way that the sebum travels has a lot of resistance because of the coiliness of the hair. So it have a tendency to be accumulated more into the scalp, as Josie was explaining. And with straighter hair, it will travel along the hair shaft. And because of that, it creates, the need to have more. You need more hydration, and of course, you need to have a better cleansing process. Now, I wanted to ask Josie about. There's some type of technique that I've been seeing with a metal plate to the scalp. It's called the skin scrubber. Are you familiar with it? It's like an electronic metal plate. They will use it to the scalp to kind of remove.
Oh, yeah, the sebum.
Yeah, to remove the sebum. I've been seeing that lately, and a lot of people using it particularly to treat problems with sebum and specifically with black hair, to remove and to go in between the locks, in between the braiding, in between, of course, the extensions, so that it will make a deep cleansing experience. So I don't have much experience on that, but I wanted to ask you if you have seen that. But to the folks who are watching, who are viewers, it does one of those services that are available right now in many places, so you can get a deeper cleansing scalp process, while, as Josie has been mentioning, while we are moisturizing, because we need to get that moisture back into the hair, back into the scalp,
Yes.
and to balance it properly.
It
If
has
you want to
electric current, right?
Yes, yes, it uses electric current, to help remove the sebum out of the scalp.
My question was to Josie, actually, and I just remembered it now. Is it okay for the people who have extensions with coil hair to wash their hair on their own without coming back to you in 2 weeks?
It can be done, but a lot of time you need to know what you're doing.
Okay.
Yeah, the person definitely need to know what they're doing. That's why I mentioned
earlier. They need to be trained, basically. They need to go to training first.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they can't see, I assume, like you can't see your own hair, so you don't know what you're doing.
Yes. Kerry mentioned that earlier, and that's actually the beauty of the difference of our type of hair. With black hair, it's a little bit more tricky, like if you have to wash your hair as often, first of all. And Sergio, what you mentioned earlier was very accurate when it comes to the sebum and being stuck at a certain level. Usually it's like 1 or 2 centimeters from the scalp that the sebum gets stuck. And one of the best way is to help manually the sebum go from the root to the end, like using not your nails, but definitely the base of your fingers to stay gentle enough and to achieve a better result.
So I have a question. It might be a very dumb question, but please educate me.
No question is dumb.
It's just like since the sebum will get stuck more than a fine hair or a straight hair, don't you need to wash it more often than straight hair? So to help out, why the 2 weeks? Why can't they wash more often?
Okay, that's very pertinent. Our hair our hair is not trained to be washed every day, especially, let's say we can wash it every day, but also we need to keep in mind the type of product we use to wash the hair.
Because it's gonna get dry so bad, or it's gonna become so moist.
Yes.
Oh, it dries up so bad. I see.
Yes, but sebum is not the enemy. Sebum is actually there to protect our hair. We just need to work with it. as Sergio mentioned earlier, the only inconvenience is that if the sebum stays stuck at the same place for the longest time, it would end up drying. So that's why we definitely need to help with that motion. If not, we definitely need to help and cleanse the scalp so that we and gently, and then we replenish the hydration and the moisture at the same time. And don't forget to stay hydrated from the inside as well.
Right. Yeah, that
one of the things that Josie was mentioning, Bez, is that sebum that is being produced. We use other type of oil to emulsify, so that natural oil can travel through the hair.
Oh, so the problem is it doesn't travel. That was
exactly. That's the problem. That's the difference, because the coiliness it creates more surface tension and doesn't travel as easily as it would with straight hair. And by emulsifying that sebum, it will make it go quicker across the hair and reach to those hard places, and keep it moisture. And in that way, it will be easier. Now for people with straight hair, it's easier just to wash it off.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a lot easier. But with coily hair, it's not as easy. It's quite a challenge, quite a task. So asking someone with texture hair to wash your hair daily, oh boy, you're sending them to hell and then some. It's very challenging, and that's the whole idea. For different types of hair, you have to adapt the treatment plan accordingly so that we can get to the proper results. And at the end of the day, the hair will stay beautiful and will stay will conserve the integrity of the hair, basically.
And putting extension is making it even harder, like one layer harder.
Yes, it's another layer, but at the same time, if you're applying it correctly, which is basically the topic that we have been discussing from the beginning, a proper application means everything. Yeah. Proper application is the difference between having hair or destroying the one that you have.
Exactly.
So it's all about the application.
I also want to add in there too, because I coach a lot of people on how to grow their hair long, and I'm a hair growth coach. And so I want to talk with this, and Josie, I really want you to talk in with this with me. But with clients, I'm always trying to wash their hair regularly. But it's mainly people with finer hair, because our hair too isn't it's not strong enough to penetrate the cuticle as it's growing, opposed to somebody with kinkier or curlier hair. The hair is stronger to be able to penetrate, so you could go longer in between washing. So like with my hair type, it's gonna stunt my hair growth, because the hair itself needs more preparation on the skin to penetrate and grow. Opposed to the curlier, coiled hair, that hair itself is strong enough to poke through. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It makes sense, because if I don't wash my hair every other day, that's my routine, my hair become itchy.
Yeah.
I want to wash it, because that sebum it needs to be washed off, period.
Yeah. And so and what I'm trying to get to is every hair texture has a different need for the end result. So what I mean by that is, if I'm helping somebody with fine to medium hair grow their hair, we do need to make sure we're stimulating that scalp, but that's for that hair type. But then, say with what Josie was talking about, going and not washing for 2 weeks, she's also protecting the integrity of that hair. Her hair is also stronger enough to grow faster and stronger than, say, my hair type. But also too, if she's washing regularly, you're fighting with the curl as well, causing matting. And so that's why there's different needs for different hair types. And I want people to really be aware of that, especially when trying to grow their hair out. Josie, do you have anything to add to that?
Yes, thank you, Carrie. What I would like to add is, The frequency of the, like washing hair can also depend on how much product you use.
And what
Yes,
you use too.
yes. Some people actually require more washing. Some people will need more to wash their hair every week
Mm,
if they use a lot of product that cause buildup.
mm,
So there's no one size fit all.
true.
At
Nailed
the
it.
end of the day, yes, at the end of the day, and the client should also learn to know what works best for them.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
yes,
And
yes,
the cosmetologist and the trichologist also should be their educator.
absolutely, absolutely. We'll definitely give you the footprint.
Excellent. Okay. Excellent.
Yeah, and if you allow, I would like also to bring this up. Um, Maybe the conception of black hair, because black hair might be stronger than straightened hair. I don't really I don't really think it's true in every case. The strength of the hair is not based on the hair type. It's based on the girth of the hair.
Absolutely. Yes.
Mm.
Yes. Thank you for correcting that. I'm like, how do I word this? No, you nailed it. Yes, exactly. Go on. So I didn't want to cut you off, but thank you for helping me correct that. Just like, how do I word
Thanks
this?
for
An
allowing
amen
me.
moment with Carrie.
That is very true, actually.
Sorry, Josie, go on.
Oh, thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate, and I hope that the word go out there and that somebody can get something from it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you know what? I think Josie, you and I and Sergio and Basan, we should put together kind of top things to look for and ask for
Mm.
people when they're hair extension shopping, like the correct questions. And so that way they're going to a person that they can trust with the integrity and the hair health and scalp health. What do you guys say? Would you guys help me put something together for that?
Yes,
Yeah.
let's do that. We have to do
Yep.
that.
Yep.
Josie,
Josie,
you in?
if any person wanna reach out for you, what's your best website or contact information?
If you don't mind, I can give you that after so that we put it in the description box.
Excellent, we'll do that.
Perfect.
Perfect. It's just I'm sure
Perfect.
like people wanna actually ask you questions or come to you for some help with their extensions.
That they will be welcome.
Excellent. Excellent.
Perfect.
I hope this episode was helpful for me, really, because I am not familiar with extensions. And thank you guys for answering my dumb questions.
No, never done questions. Never.
No question is dumb.
That's right.
Okay.
So there you have it, guys. This is the closing for the Hair Wire today. I hope you guys have learned lots of good stuff with us today. Keep it smart here at the Hair Wire. So please subscribe, hit the like button, the notification bell, share our content, write your comments. We're here for you guys. Till next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.